By gum, you'll enjoy this. The return ticket. Sometimes heart-wrenching, always poignant, and more often than not, absolutely hilarious.
Fozzie was hot on my heels behind me, apologising like buggery. "It was an accident," he yelled as I swung a left into Grandma and Grandad's front garden and into the house through the side door. I bent over the dining table and howled that I had a dart in my arse. "Watch your bloody language, lad," Grandad said, as without ceremony he swiftly removed the dart. Grandma was there in seconds. She whipped down my short trousers and with her medical expertise plugged the hole with TCP and Germaline. Luckily, there was no blood, so no plaster would be required on this particular occasion.
Despite his naughty capers, the reader can both empathise and admire Paul's innate resilience.
It was sensible to have a damp-proof course. A no-brainer, for the sake of the children, he said. As I quietly munched away at my over-sweetened sandwich, I was thinking, this is serious shit. No way did I want to snuff it due to spores penetrating the walls and wiping us out. I could imagine the local newspaper headline, "Gosport family wiped out in spores terror." Dad was saying that we couldn't afford £800. It was just too expensive.
This story will pull at your heartstrings one minute and have you laughing out loud the next.
When we went indoors, Mum was setting up the Electrolux vacuum cleaner for spider sucking. Dad asked what she was doing. "What's he look like, Pat?" came a reply. "You know he doesn't like spiders, so he can use the vacuum to suck up the cobwebs." Dad stood there with his hands on his hips. The vacuum cleaner was not in the briefing, and he was not having any of it. I could tell a row was brewing. CPO Donoghue's authority.
A rollercoaster ride of emotions from a man who survived to tell his story.
The dog knew there was something going off outside. He never kicked off without good reason. Grandad shouted from the front room to "Shut that bloody dog up, Apple!" This was a good time for an experiment. I jumped off the sofa and grabbed Grandad's walking stick and pointed it at Rusty in the same way D'Artagnan of the Three Musketeers would point his sword. As if by magic, he immediately went mute and slowly slithered off the sofa and went under the sideboard out of sight. Silence. I was pretty chuffed with myself and put the stick back in its place with a smile on my face. I had unleashed the power of the stick to good effect. As I turned around, I was startled by a sight that made my blood run cold. A yeti peering through the back room window. Or to be more precise, a man with long cat weasel hair, a beard dangling down beyond his belly, and wearing a mink coat. I shouted to Grandad in full stutter, using the same call as a scared baboon in the Amazon jungle.
It's a no-holds-barred look at life in the late 1960s and early 1970s. 320 pages, 26 amazing illustrations. Visit www.thereturnticket.com. Click the link to order your copy. This book is receiving rave reviews.
Anyway, let's get back to the story in hand. I'd had all the practice I needed. It was time to see exactly what my go-kart was capable of. I was up at the top of Mansfield Road, on the pavement. The coast was clear, and I was ready to go. So it was brakes off, feet up, ropes in hand, and heart thumping. If anyone knew I'd taken the go-kart up here, I'd be in the deepest shit imaginable, and it would be clouts all round for me. But truth be known, I'd have rather taken a severe beating than not to have had this experience in my life. And I can only say that with hindsight. The first part of the journey was slow going, as a gentle breeze hit my face, and I picked up momentum. I could see the steep bit coming up. The second part was going to be fast. I started to hear a whistling in my ears as this Sheffield-made Formula One go-kart really started to motor down the hill. The wheels were rumbling. I was starting to brick it, and the cart started to go hell for leather. I knew I was going fast because people were stopping in their tracks to watch me.